Welcome to Your Money's Worth with the Mick Done. Now, here's Mick.
12:02 on a Freaky Friday. Welcome to the show, Your Money's Worth. I'm the Mixter, broadcasted live right here out of our Fort Lauderdale studios across the world on Amp2.tv. We've got a special show today. We're going to bring on a couple of real fine guests. One of them is a software company, which is really extraordinary when you look at it today. So many companies are out there. And the ability to contact each other in time of disaster or a terrorist act, developed by a jet pilot a fantastic jet pilot, flew F-16s, went to the Air Force Academy. I'm sorry about that, and did a great job. We're going to bring on Larry Reed, the CEO of Cleartronic, which is trading under the symbol CLRI right now, an audited, fully reporting company since 2008. And then after that, we're going to go ahead with the hemp industry being so broad right now and so hot, the marijuana industry. A company out of Houston, Texas, which has come up with a terrific drink called Rocky Mountain High, which is assorted flavors. It's also an energy drink. And unlike most today, which are caffeine-based, and you have such a problem with caffeine drinks because of the youth of America today, shooting, let's say, 10, 12 of these things, and they go into trachycardia. This here has no after effect. Their sales are terrific. It's run by a fellow, founded by Jerry Grisafi, a fellow I know for a better part of a decade. And he teamed up with Tom Schumann. And Tom used to pitch touchdowns for Penn State. In fact, he was the most valuable player in the 1974 Orange Bowl, where they destroyed Nebraska. Tom got the MVP in that. And after that, he branched out and he went into the beverage industry after his football career. And he's been in it just about all his life. They came up with some serious news today that one of the advisors who's joined Hemp, it's totally Hemp Crazy, the company, is one of the guys that, in fact, the main guy who took Red Bull, and turned it into the success it is today. And when he took it over, it was basically in bankruptcy. He jumped it to almost 300 million units per year. So we're going to talk to them both. Jerry and Tom will call in from their Houston headquarters, and Larry Reed will be joining me here in a few minutes when we get into it, and it should be a great day. CLRI is Cleartronic. Now, we all remember what happened, with the World Trade Center. It was almost impossible for communications. Phone lines were completely jammed. Nobody could communicate because there was just an overload. And if you ever made a phone call on New Year's Eve at 12 o'clock, you'll know what I mean. It's just everything went hectic, so information could not be shared between the Port Authority Police, the NYPD, the Transit Police, which ran the train tracks underneath the World Trade Tower, the fire department, the ATF, the FBI, and the other agencies. Well, they recognized this. And what they did was they developed a program and a software, combined it with what they had as far as hardware, and have come up with the better mousetrap in plain and simple terms. And it is cloud-based, unlike other softwares that are out there. So as long as you have internet, this thing works. And you can't interrupt it. They actually took my cell phone and turned it into a radio phone, which I just with a push of a button, I was able to communicate just like a walkie-talkie. And I've never seen anything like that. So we're going to come back, and we're going to talk to Larry Reed right after we get into the program, which will come back in about a few minutes. And I got to tell you, okay, I'm looking forward to speaking to these people. We'll be right back at you. I'm the Mixter. Don't go away. A lot on the boards today. We're going to have a good time right here on the Beasley Network.
My name is Sue Smith. I'm 38 years old, and I work at a graphic design company, which is funny, because I couldn't even draw a stick figure when I was a kid. But I met someone who told me, you know what? You can do anything if you really want to. And if the teenage me were here, she'd tell you,
I wouldn't be into drawing and art if it wasn't for big brothers, big sisters. Most kids from my neighborhood don't get into art. they get into trouble. But I was lucky because my big sister showed me early on that I didn't have to be like most people. And to the young me,
that meant a lot. My big sister's name is Sheila, and Sheila is the reason that this 8-year-old grows up to have an amazing job as a graphic designer.
Whether you donate money or time, you're helping Big Brothers Big Sisters help a child. And that can last a lifetime. Start something today at bigbrothersbigsisters.org. Brought to you by Big Brothers Big Sisters and the Ad Council.
Great party, huh, guys?
Yeah, it is.
This is
So
great.
much fun.
If I do say so myself. Hey, did you know that birthday parties actually help build confidence in kids?
Yeah, I did know that.
Did you know that giving kids less sugar before bedtime helps them sleep better?
Right, of course.
Yeah, I knew that. Did you know that strollers have the right of way on sidewalks?
Oh yeah, I knew that.
Yeah, that's true. Did you know that friendly kids statistically have more friends?
Everyone knows that.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, it's pretty obvious.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
obvious.
Hey, guys, did you know that most people think they're using the right car seat for their kid, but they're not?
I didn't know that.
Think I knew that.
No, you didn't.
Parents who really know it all know for sure that their child is in the right car seat at the right age and size. Visit safercar.gov/the right seat to make sure your child is protected. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
Welcome back to the show. I'm the Mixter. We're sitting here right now with Mr. Larry Reed from Cleartronic Inc. And Larry, it's good to see you over here today. I'm really having a good time on the show. And, I made a lot about the World Trade Centers, but also this software combined with your hardware, all right, can make a difference in like a Hurricane Wilma where communications just completely go down.
Absolutely, Mick.
Okay.
Sure can.
Yeah. How long has Cleartronic been in business?
We've been in the systems integration business for a number of years. We've been doing first responders. We've been doing commercial airports throughout the United States, and pretty soon we're going to be doing one in Canada.
Mm-hmm.
We've also been selling our patented radio over IP gateways through resellers worldwide.
Right. And it's taken you years to get this developed. I mean, this is something like you didn't start on Tuesday. I mean,
No.
Years of research.
It's years of research and development and trying to get it right and file for the patent and do all the things that you need to do to protect your product.
Right. And now that you've taken it to market, when did you start marketing this product? You just about came out of the gate only a few months ago.
Well, the hardware we've been marketing for about 3 years. The software, we just signed a new agreement at the end of March. So we just started marketing the software that is combined with our hardware to make a premium interoperable solution. And we just started marketing that in April.
Right, and I was looking at some of your client list. You've been, I guess I got to say, you landed Harris County, which is the city of Houston, the Miami Fire Department. I mean, you're meeting tremendous success with this.
Early adopters have been, you're right. Miami-Dade Fire is an early adopter to it. We just signed up the Harris County Emergency Operations Center, as you said.
Which is the city of Houston.
Which is the city of Houston. Florida Department of Law Enforcement is using it.
The FDLE.
FDLE. So there's a number of people that are currently using it, and we're adding new customers every week.
Right. And really right now you're building the infrastructure of the company, which is basically developing a sales force, because I know that you're limited as far as sales, and now you're starting to get inbound calls where people want to see the product, but you just can't service it.
Exactly. There's not enough hours in the day to see all the people that are interested in seeing our software and hardware.
Right. And from what we were speaking about earlier, even internationally, people now are looking to take over rights or trying to come at you and say, listen, but you're not looking at international at all right now.
Well, we're doing international. We work with the State Department of the United States, and we're currently servicing the Colombia National Police Force. That's the whole country of Colombia.
I saw that in your brochure. I got a question for you also. Traditionally, okay, the antennas are the first things to go down in any catastrophe like a Hurricane Wilma. You're cloud-based. Explain to what cloud-based is versus what the traditional way is today.
Well, being based in the cloud allows us to locate our software at a server facility that is backed up in a number of different ways at different locations throughout the world. We happen to use Amazon services. And it's the same software. It's encrypted. It's the same software that the U.S. government uses. Not the same software, but it's the same hosted facility or cloud facility that the government uses.
So if something, let's say a hurricane came through and took out everything on the ground,
this service center, it would switch over to another service center in California or London, wherever it might be.
And, you know, when Jim Kincannon, your head tech, when he turned my cell phone into a radio phone.
Right.
So even if the phone lines are down, as long as you have airwaves, you can continually talk, and as long as you have internet.
Well, you need to have IP. You need to have internet access.
But internet is also cloud-based in most cases.
Well,
right?
in a way, yes, it is.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
So you can and what I liked about it was all the agencies can speak to each other with instant information, providing they subscribe to this program.
That is correct.
And that was the problem they had at the World Trade Towers, where all the agencies, the information couldn't get to the agencies at one time. The triage was set up underneath the towers that came down. 2 agencies were informed by the engineers that the structure was in jeopardy, but they couldn't get word there fast enough to get those people out of there.
Terrible tragedy. I'm not saying we could have solved all the problems
They didn't
there,
have that technology. It would be unfair to say that.
Right.
You know, but really, they even passed the law in Congress that where agencies have to share information. You know, the left hand didn't know what the right hand was doing. The NYPD and the FBI are always at odds. They don't want to share information. Mm-hmm. But in times of tragedy, it's essential because minutes equate to lives saved. And that's, I guess, what Cleartronics is all about, developed by a jet pilot.
There you go.
He recognized the fact that air, land, and sea had to coordinate with the ground troops.
There you go.
And that's the story I was told. And that's what he shot for as far as that goes.
He's a very bright guy.
Well, obviously, because he impressed the heck out of me, that's for sure. But then again, you know, who am I to say? So your reception's been good. Where do you see the company going over the next 6 to 12 months as far as sales force and promotion and getting the word out on this?
Well, Mick, we believe we're going to grow quite rapidly. Now, being a public company, I can't discuss any kind of projections or anything like that. Mm-hmm. We believe that we've got a great product. We've got the best product out there, both the software and the hardware. And we feel like we can grow the company dramatically. Right. But I can't give you any projections of sorts today at all.
Speaking of that, you just recently canceled about 94% of your actual shares. You canceled over 2 billion shares of stock, which has basically condensed the company, increasing shareholder value.
That's correct, Mick. What we wanted to do, or what I wanted to do, was when we signed the agreement with ReadyUp, I wanted to make sure that the shareholders of the company were getting the best bang for their buck, if you will.
Right.
I happened to own a little over 2 billion shares at the time, and I signed a new employment agreement with the company, mm-hmm. and I agreed to cancel my 2 billion shares in exchange for 200,000 shares of Series C preferred.
Right.
The Series C preferred it's a convertible preferred stock. It converts at 5 shares for each 1 share of preferred. So at some point in time...
And there's a strike point on this. You just can't go out and do it now.
No. I'm restricted from doing anything for 2 years.
Okay. So there's a lockup and there's a good consolidation on the stock. You, unlike most companies, you are audited. Your financials are audited, yet you remain on the pink sheets, much like Toyota does. Toyota is a pink sheet company, and they also are audited. You could move to a better exchange if you wanted to. You could go to the OTCBB or even get invited to the NASDAQ once you get your legs under you.
Absolutely. We elected in January not to move to the OTC Bulletin Board. It was a fairly large number that they wanted as an initiation fee and then as an annual fee. Cash is precious to us right now because we're trying to grow our business. Mm-hmm. And there's nothing wrong with the pink sheets as long we're a fully reporting company. Our statements are audited. All you have to do is go to sec.gov and type in the word Cleartronic, and you can see every filing that we've done since 2008.
Your new filings that are coming out, I believe they're due in about a week or so.
Well, the deadline actually is today, but we filed for an automatic extension.
And that's a 5-day extension.
5-day
It gives you
extension.
another week, right?
Well, the weekend counts. So
okay.
The 10Q will be filed on Wednesday, May 20th.
Looking at developing a sales force and trying to bring more people on talent to understand this. Now, I know Jim Kincannon, he within, I'd say, an hour, I was pretty familiar. You simplified this software in a lot of ways to make it easier for people to know. You need a pilot's license to operate some of this software that I've seen over the years, which is what hindered their sales.
Right.
It wasn't easy enough. Yours seems to be one touch. And then to integrate it into the hardware which you possessed,
right,
and put the merger together, that seems to have fallen into place and really benefited this company.
It really has, and we're really excited about the future of the company.
When do you think that you're going to hit the West Coast? Because I know, in speaking with others, the West Coast right now, the West Coast of the United States is really looking. California's huge. Northern California cannot communicate with Southern California. There's 500 miles between them, much like Miami and Jacksonville. So when do you think you're going to be out west?
Let me give you a few examples of some of the people that we're working with already. The state of Colorado is almost totally using ReadyOp for emergency operations. The Department of Transportation is using it. Denver Rapid Transit is using it. A number of agencies in Colorado are on board with ReadyOp. In addition, we've been talking to Salt Lake City. There's some business going on there that we expect to, get fairly soon. We're also talking around with the city of Seattle, both their transit department and the city government
themselves. Did Mark just go out to Seattle?
He was in Seattle, yes, he
Mark
was.
Mark is the former fighter pilot.
Mark Moore is the brains behind. He and his software engineer are the brains behind ReadyOp software.
Mm-hmm. And you anticipate that I guess you're going to have to develop yourself a sales force because of the abundance of workload.
Well,
you got to get your legs under you, let's face it.
Right. Well, we just expanded our board about 3 months ago to we added two new members. One was Mark Moore, and the other one was Richard Lafley. And Richard Lafley has a company called the Global Food Exchange.
Yeah, we were speaking about that.
He's a very bright man we just welcomed him with open arms to the board.
What he does is in times of disaster.
In times of disaster, when people need water, food, he has the ability to deliver those things instantly, almost immediately. He has warehouses around the world stocked with emergency food supplies, water supplies, etc. So if there is a disaster at some point, he has the ability to go in and provide the necessary things to keep people alive.
So I guess he fits perfectly into a software.
He does. As a matter of fact, I might be talking a little bit out of school, but I believe that we're very close to signing up another South American country for both Global Food Exchange and for ReadyOp.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So internationally, you've already taken the steps overseas.
Our hardware we're selling right now in probably 20 different countries around the world. Mm-hmm. I just got an order yesterday for some of our hardware units in Italy. Mm-hmm. So we sell Singapore. I mean, we sell all over the world.
Weren't you working with some people in Saudi Arabia, or was it Kuwait, or someplace in the Middle East that they had? First of all, you basically take it from English and you can put it into every language.
Well, yes, you could because you're communicating. First of all, ReadyOp communicates via email, via telephone, via text, via instant message, or via two-way radio.
Right.
So you've got all of those different forms of communication available to you at your fingertips.
Right.
So if you want to send a text message to a certain group, all you have to do is type the message and hit send to that group, and every person in that group will get that text message. If you want to make a call, a conference call, let's say, to every member in that group, you simply make the call. They don't have to dial in. You make the call and the call goes through, and you've immediately got a conference. If you want to use an email instead of a text, you can use an email. You want to use an instant message, use an instant message. So there's so many ways. It's so powerful in the way it's able to communicate that
it's instantaneous.
It's instantaneous. Yes, it is.
So the sharing of information through government bodies, through the different agencies, through business.
And especially think of it this way: we are able to connect with two-way radio systems.
Mm-hmm.
So it doesn't make any difference what frequency it is, what type of system it is, whether it's Kenwood, whether it's Motorola, whether it's Harris. It doesn't make any difference. Our gateway provides the link to be able to connect a Motorola system that may be operating in Miami with a Kenwood system that may be operating in Broward County. Can't do that today unless you've got the ability to connect them via IP, and we make the gateway that makes that happen.
Again, it's Cleartronic. The symbol is CLRI. You can find it on the pink sheets. It's fully audited. We're here with Larry Reed. We're going to come back right after this. We'll go get a couple of sponsors in, and we'll come right back.
Did you know that there are greater than 1,500 kids in Palm Beach County alleged to be victims of abuse, neglect, or abandonment?
Fewer than 80% of those children are afforded a guardian ad litem.
That leaves these children with no voice in the court system.
Guardians ad litem represent the best interest of children involved in abuse cases.
We are information gatherers, advocates, and monitors who visit the child, review relevant records, interview persons involved in the child's life, and submit best interest recommendations to the court.
Without a guardian, these children are more likely to languish in foster care.
It is time for you to speak up for our county's most vulnerable. Call 561-355-6224 or visit www.galpbc.org for more information. You can make a difference in a child's life.
Can you tell if this burger contains bacteria that could cause kidney failure? Listen. Can't, can you? You can't see it either. There's only one way to tell if you've cooked meat and poultry to a bacteria-killing temperature. Use a food thermometer. It's not an extra step or a nice to have. Raw or undercooked meat may contain bacteria that can make you very sick, or worse. 1 in 6 Americans will get sick from food poisoning this year, and roughly 3,000 will die. But you can keep your family safer by using a food thermometer every time. Learn more about this and other important information. Check your steps at foodsafety.gov. That's foodsafety.gov. A public service announcement brought to you by the U.S. Department of Agriculture, the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, and the Ad Council.
Back on the show, your money's worth. I'm the Mixter. You know, it's funny because the hurricane season's almost upon us right here in South Florida. There goes Scruffy the dog. He's blowing right out the side door. Listen, we've all lived through it. We remember Wilma. We remember some of us, like, been here for Andrew, for example. You got to protect yourself and protect your property, and the best way to do that is with impact windows, and nobody does it better than Sudden Impact Window and Doors. Wood sliders, you got French doors, put in new windows, increase the value of your home while protecting the goods inside, and nobody does it better than Sudden Impact Windows and Doors. Did my house out in Coral Springs about 10 years ago. They've been in business forever down here. Reputable, licensed, bonded, insured. The best, I got to say, the best installers that you'll ever see at a price that can't be beat. Sudden Impact Windows and Doors will come out, give you a free estimate from top to bottom, whether you want to put some sliders in, you want to open up the pool area, maybe some French doors going out to the patio, or just your windows throughout the place. Sudden Impact Windows and Doors. Been in business forever right here in Broward and Dade County, Palm Beach counties. Give them a call. Go out, get a price. They'll come in. They'll beat it all because they're factory direct. Why pay more when you can get great service, great product from Sudden Impact Windows and Doors? 954-464-0296. Once again, that number, 954-464-0296. Tell them the Mixter sent you, and go ahead and get yourself all done up with a great package of windows. 954-464-0296. Sudden Impact Windows and Doors. Tell them I sent you. Well, Larry, that was great. I want to invite you back, and hopefully next time you come in, you'll bring Mark Moore with you. And
I'd like that very much.
Yeah, I would like to do it. A true hero, a fighter pilot, a graduate of the Air Force Academy who developed this software. And by the sounds of it, you really got the better mousetrap here. And at least we have an understanding of how it works and what you're doing with the company. Again, the symbol is CLRI, Cleartronic Inc. And we'll look at your sales next time you come with Mark, and we'll talk about the new innovations that you're working on right now.
Great. Thank you, Mick.
Great having you.
Have a great day.
Mr. Larry Reed, CEO and President of Cleartronic. We're going to go to a break. We're going to come back with a good friend of mine, Jerry Grisafi, calling us from Texarkana, Texas. He's out in Houston. And Tom Schumann will be back right after this.
Let's talk about the X's and O's of family entertainment. Every parent in Florida knows the importance of being able to draw up an activity that'll get you out of the house for a couple of hours. But it needs to be affordable. It needs to be family-friendly. Above all, it needs to be fun. Now, let's talk about high school sports. Bang for your buck, school sports provide the perfect game plan for your family. You'll enjoy all of the drama and excitement competitive sports offer. You'll be supporting the future leaders of our community in a meaningful way. Best of all, you can take the entire family without breaking the bank. Heck, you won't even dent it. Now, enough chalk talk. Let's get out there and see what's playing at the high school in your community. School sports. Good for our kids, good for our community. This message presented by the Florida High School Athletic Association and the Florida Interscholastic Athletic Administrators Association.
In the last decade, more than 400,000 people died on America's roadways. That's one person every 13 minutes. Roadway deaths strike the young or old at any time of the year, at any hour of the day or night. And it doesn't matter whether you drive a car on a highway, ride a motorcycle or bicycle on a country road, or simply take a walk near traffic. Everyone is at risk. Since 1969, members of the American Traffic Safety Services Association have worked diligently to make our nation's roadways safer by providing the majority of roadway safety features, including bright signs and pavement markings, guardrails, and crash cushions. These are just some of the roadway devices that save thousands of lives each day. Since most of our roadways were built in the 1950s, there's so much more work that needs to be done to reach the ultimate goal of zero deaths. Safer roads save lives. To learn how you can get involved, visit atssa.com. A public service message from the American Traffic Safety Services Association.
Half past the hour here on a Freaky Friday for broadcasting live in Fort Lauderdale. I'm the Mixter, and welcome to your money's worth. You know, right now, the marijuana industry is so hot all over the place. And I said it 7-8 months ago that the real money to be made is in the ancillary businesses, not what they're doing out in Colorado, but what they're doing as far as the support industries. Well, Mike, I know a guy named Jerry Grisafi, and he is the founder of Totally Hemp Crazy Inc., THCZ. That's their symbol. They have a product called Rocky Mountain High, and I'll tell you the truth, I'm high on it because 4 months ago, I had lunch with him and Tom Schumann over at Ruth Chris. Their stock was at 0.05. Today, it's trading around 30 cents on one of the hottest stocks in the pink sheets or anywhere around. Jerry, how are you today? I'll tell you, you got some product out there. The world is crazy for hemp.
Absolutely, Mick. Good to talk to you again, too.
I'll tell you the truth. You put out news today. You brought on Harry Drenick. Okay, now Harry was the man who rescued Red Bull, basically turned that whole company around, and now he's with you over at Total Hemp Crazy.
That's correct. We're really excited about Harry. He's known about what we were doing from the beginning, and he's kind of been a silent background.
Right. I remember when we were at Ruth Chris, he had brought it up that he was watching very carefully. Yeah.
And he's given us advice along the way, and he's real close with our marketing company, Rhino Marketing, who he had appointed to do Red Bull in the United States when he was running Red Bull.
Right.
And he's watched this thing grow, and a few months ago he said, I would like to really get involved with this deal now. And one thing after another, and we made a deal with him, and we're excited to have somebody with that caliber that's been there and done that. Not only did he do Red Bull, he was
Bud Light.
Bud Light.
He basically built Bud Light from the ground up. I mean, his credentials. I don't think I can find anybody with better credentials out there if I had a week and a half to go look. I mean,
not in the beverage industry.
I tell you what knocked me and floored me was that you sent thousands of cases to Amazon and you sold it out in less than 3 hours of the first day you were marketing it. That's phenomenal.
Yeah, well, Amazon is a breed all of its own, and we're doing very well on Amazon, and it gets our product nationwide, and people can try it anywhere in the country. And, in Amazon, you can get it in one day if you want.
Right.
They're a phenomenal group, and we're pleased to be associated with them, too.
Well, there's no doubt about it. You're starting in convenience stores just about all over the country right now. You have Rhino behind you, and Rhino is one of the largest marketing firms in the world.
Yep, they know what they're doing.
Well, there's no doubt about it.
We're blessed to have them.
Yeah, that's the truth. Now, you turn around and you look at the way your stock is really developed. I mean, you got to be one of the hottest stocks, probably on the OTC. There's no doubt about it. You're averaging 16 to 20 million shares a day. And the stock has really went up about 10,000, 12,000% since about 90 days ago?
Yep, January.
Was it January? I don't remember what month it was that I met you and Tom Schumann. Tom's the president of the company now. And
I'm sitting right beside me.
Is he? Okay.
I'm sitting right beside me.
And I said earlier, Tom, he used to pitch footballs for Penn State. In fact, he was the MVP in the 74 Orange Bowl when he crushed Nebraska. And then later on, after bouncing around the NFL and the Canadian Football League, he went right into the beverage business, and he's been in it ever since, pitching beverages. And I think he threw the biggest touchdown in the world, Jerry, when he hooked up with you.
God, I hope so. I was running as fast as I could when he threw it.
You must have caught it. I tell you something. You really turned this company into a winner, a home run ball. I tasted your product. It's very tasty. And now you got the energy drink, which is not caffeine-based. Am I right in that assumption?
It's let Tom handle that. Tom handles all that part of the deal.
No, our energy drink is caffeine based. We use guarana, which is a natural form of caffeine, in our energy drink, rather than some of the other energy drinks out there on the marketplace use a stimulant called taurine.
Right.
Taurine will give you a good lift, but it also allows you to crash more so than guarana, and that's why we have guarana in our energy drink. Guarana will give you that nice lift, but it'll let you down a lot easier.
How's the reception been with the energy drink right now? Because, it's a crowded field. We all know that. But it seems that you're going to carve out a niche. I mean, the name itself, Rocky Mountain High, I mean, I'm surprised that name wasn't taken by somebody else. You guys grabbed it. You trademarked it. It's yours.
That's right.
Somebody, who was it who said to me? Somebody said to me a while ago that just the name alone is worth $10 million.
Well, I don't know if you could put a figure on it exactly like that.
It might be worth more than that now. How much is Red Bull worth?
Well, we sure were blessed with being able to secure the name, that's for sure.
Now, your hemp-based drinks, they don't contain PCP, so you fall under the radar of any government agency or anything along those lines, yet you still get the benefit of the hemp extract.
That is correct, yes. We utilize 50 milligrams of hemp seed extract in each 12-ounce can of product.
Mm-hmm.
and it is totally 100% THC free, totally 100% legal, and of course it would have to be because we are a publicly traded company.
Right, no doubt about that.
We can't do anything illegal. So everything we sell is 100% legal and above board.
Right, and you know, as I look around, you have 27 states right now that have legalized marijuana as far as medical use. So it's recognized that the marijuana plant itself and the extract has a benefit, a tremendous. Well, listen, everybody knows what it could do for glaucoma, cystic fibrosis. There must be 10 or 15 diseases that I could flip off the top, and I'm certainly no doctor. But, you know, even the medical associations themselves are having trouble, you know, saying at first they were against it, and now they realize, hey, you know, it helps the patients, and it should be legalized. I believe that. I believe here in Florida it just missed with 58.5%. You needed 60% vote to approve it here in Florida as far as medical marijuana goes. And, you know, if it was any other election, you would say it won by a landslide. But you need 60% to get through the legislation, so it's on the ballot for 216. It should pass. But you have absolutely, you can sell anywhere in the country. You can sell anywhere in the world for that matter.
That's correct, yes.
Yeah, and we have an assortment of flavors also that you've gone ahead and you've developed. You know, it's just not one. A lot of these energy drinks and a lot of these other drinks, they taste like you're drinking something nuclear. But from what I gathered when I drank your lemon drink and some of the other flavors you had when we were over at Ruth Chris that day when you did your presentation, they were really terrific. Do you get a lot of response to people who like that flavor?
Well, thank you. First of all, yes, we believe that the flavor house that we work with to develop these products is second to none. And they've created for us a delicious tasting energy drink. I'll go so far as to say that it's the best tasting energy drink out in the market.
Best one I've ever tasted. And I can't drink. I tried a couple of them, you know, for that 2 o'clock rush, you know, where you don't feel like eating a candy bar or something, you know, when you start early in the morning as I do. And I tell you the truth, I don't like when it lets you down. You know, and plus I have high blood pressure, and the worst thing I can do is go up and down like that. You know, the spike is just not there. I don't mind going up. I just don't like coming down.
We understand that.
You know what that's all about. How do you feel about Harry coming on board, Tom? I mean, you know Harry a long time, and it must be something to have him on the board now with you in the advisory board capacity and so on and so forth. With his, I guess, connections in the industry, it's going to be a totally different ballgame.
Well, we couldn't be more excited about Harry coming on board. He brings with him a wealth of experience and knowledge and background in the beverage business. We just met for the last few days down in Houston, putting a marketing plan together for the remainder of 2015. And, you know, obviously the expectations with Harry is we're going to take this thing to a whole new level and great new heights.
Yeah, there's no doubt about it. You know, and as far as the reception from Wall Street, I don't think I've seen anything move like this since the .com era. You know, as far as volume goes and the interest that you have in the company, right across the board, totally hemp crazy seems to be the craze. It's been the most active on the pink sheets now for what, 2 months? Every time I look up there you are right there trading away. And now the sales, you're going into your third production, or is it your fourth production of product?
Third production run.
Third production already.
The third production run, right. We'll be building another 60,000 cases right at the end of this month.
My God. And for a company that just came out of the gate, it took you a couple of years to go ahead and develop the project and then to take it to market, only about 90 days ago? How long have you been in market with this?
About March 15th.
So you were with Ava 2 months, and you're already in your third run.
Yeah.
What do you think you'll be? What do you think you'll be come December, toward the end of the year? What do you think you'll be at? At that time. I know you need a crystal ball.
Really, our numbers keep getting pushed around because so many different things are happening. I can't predict where we're going to be. I mean, the numbers are going to be good.
How high is up?
You said that when we met, with the beverage business. And there is a lot of money in the beverage business. All you have to do is walk into a grocery store, and there's 16,000 different beverages there. I mean, you know it as well as I do. But it seems that every time this one here, this is the newest of the line, and the success that you've had. The only reason you haven't had sales off the chart is you're not in every state yet, other than Amazon. But didn't Rhino push Red Bull at the beginning?
Yes, they did.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, they were the marketing arm for Rhino.
So you look at the success of Red Bull doing what, 300 million units a year? Somewhere.
Like that. The numbers are just staggering. I mean, Red Bull was hemorrhaging nothing but blood, and then within 10 years they became the worldwide phenomenon.
Weren't they in bankruptcy?
No, they never went bankrupt, but they lost a lot of money.
Mm-hmm. And then Harry came along and changed things for them.
Harry came over, changed their marketing plan, and of course, what was really wonderful, we heard the whole story, which was just fabulous. I mean,
Tom gave us the story that day. He said one of the first things he did was fire everybody in a suit and hire guys in their 20s and 30s because that was their generation with the energy drink. And sure enough, they turned it right around, with their X Factor and their marketing campaigns and so on and such. And you guys are following the same pattern, especially this day, because if you go into a convenience store anywhere, all right, you see that the solid energy drinks are right up by the cash register. And you guys went and developed the same program. You have your own dispensary. You showed it to us. You have when if somebody goes in a convenience store, there's going to be Rocky Mountain High right up front where it belongs.
That's part of the plan.
That's part of the plan. And like I said,
we'll have these point of sale materials. We'll have the little cans in the stores. I mean, we got a lot of things coming. As I said, we've only been around since March 15th with the finished product, and it's just been phenomenal.
Well, the reception's there for sure. How do you stand funding-wise and financing-wise? Do you have enough to carry you over the goal line?
Well, no, we won't have enough to carry over the goal line. We're raising money as we go. We have a nice credit line right now, which is getting us from point A to point B to point C. The sales and the price of the stock will certainly help us raise the money we need to go forward.
Well, you take a look at the volume, and it has a wall. Pardon me?
What's that?
I was saying the volume, certainly the interest is there when you're looking at trading. You do 16 million shares a day at 25 cents. You're talking about $4 million in business, $20 million a week. That's a lot of trading, my friends.
Right. They put it. We've got a lot of people calling us in brokerage houses calling us. We also we're filing a registration with the SEC as soon as our audit is finished. We hired an auditing company, Princeton Company.
Right.
They're working on the audit now. We're going to move from the pink sheets to the QB.
Right.
And, our ultimate goal is to move from the QB on up to the American. And this is where we want to be, and this is what we want to do.
Yeah, well, I can see that happening. Focus. I'm surprised you haven't been invited to the NASDAQ. As that goes up, because they love that volume.
We could be.
I can see that.
We just got to keep blocking and tackling.
Well, you have you don't have that much stock out there, as far as it goes. As I looked at whatever I could see, your market cap is extraordinary. And as your sales catch up, again, you solidify your own position with sales. And it seems marketing is where your concentration is and not so much on the stock, which is, as an investor, what I'd like to see. Sales are the cure-all for all these companies that are struggling. It's nothing but sales. And if you're going to go ahead and you're going to go into your third run in 2 months of operation, that's pretty impressive.
Yes, it is. We feel blessed that we're able to do this right now. And
what's your website?
Produce the product.
What is it? TotallyHempCrazy.com, is it not?
TotallyHempCrazy.com.
TotallyHempCrazy.com. All right, which is good. So if anybody misses this in its entirety, they can go ahead and see it because we'll send it over. I'd like to see. Do we have a picture of all the product back there, Freddie? Maybe Freddie can pull it up and put it up there. I want him to show the product line. There it is. He's got it up now. Okay, there it is. And you can see the energy drink on the left, the different flavors. You got a pina colada flavor? Is that what I see there? No, that's not pina colada, is it?
It's coconut with lime.
Coconut with lime. Oh, how come you didn't have that at Ruth Chris? That's my favorite.
It's absolutely delicious.
Well,
Also
but
good with a little bit of rum in it as well.
I was just going to
But
say
it-
that. You got to put the floater in there, Tom. You got to put that little floater on top to make it work. In fact, they look like mixes. You could probably use those
It's really good.
with a little vodka for a little summery taste. I mean, because tasting it, I tasted everything you had there that day. In fact, I got carried away with it. It was so good. And I remember Dennis.
Hey, Mick, this one only has 15 calories, so it'd be really good for you.
Oh, yeah, that's it. Put a little dig in me while there. But to tell you the truth, I can use all the help I can get. It's a hell of a lot better than drinking soda, that's for sure, which I stay away from. But I tell you the truth, it's terrific. It's a terrific product, and it's in an industry that right now seems to be booming. All you have to look at Colorado. What I find interesting is the federal government with the marijuana itself, the real marijuana that has the stuff to make you blown out of your face. The government doesn't recognize it, yet Washington, D.C., the nation's capital, was giving out seeds 2 weeks ago to anybody who wants to grow it at home. Now, does that make sense to you? Talk about total hypocrisy?
All this out.
I mean, this is total hypocrisy. I can see the benefits of it, and I can see anybody who has, certain ailments where they would want to drink this just to have it in their system without getting whacked out of their heads. But look, there's 12 and a half wine-based hemp. Beautiful. I'm looking at it there on the screen. Everybody else is looking at it too, and it's completely legal. That's something. So you could go 50 states at a time. I love it, guys. I'm going to tell you what. We're going to bring it back next month. And we're going to chart your progress constantly because, again, the symbol out there, THCZ. Totally hemp crazy. And I'm looking forward to seeing you again. When you coming to Florida, boys? You going to be up here shortly?
Never know about us.
Yeah, well, you guys are like
I
on the
will
road
be in
constantly.
Orlando next week, but not
Down in South Florida.
I won't be not south. I'll be in Orlando.
The Tom and Jerry show takes the road. Every time I speak to you, you're in a jet somewhere flying around, going out and distributors. I'm still working on a couple of nice ones over here in South Florida. And I tell you what, truth, the world's going to be wanting this product because it's that good, number one. And number two is you guys are a real professional team. And now with Harry involved in it, it only makes it a better trio for sure. Certainly a winning trifecta, no matter how you look at it, with the three is involved. But I'll come back to you next month. We'll chart some progress and keep us informed here at the studio on what you're doing and so on and so forth, because I love having something on that's as exciting as this.
You got it. We
All right.
appreciate you, Mick.
Great job, boys, and I'll talk to you soon. God bless you both. Totally hemp crazy. I mean, this product, I've seen a lot. We've had I remember interviewing Jim, I think it's Jim Buckmiller. He was the founder of Craigslist at the beginning when nobody knew who Craigslist was. I've had Jack Welch on the show. I've done a lot of interviews with companies that have gone on to do extraordinary things. But when you look at food product and you look at what's hot today, energy drinks hot, hemp hot. These guys got a good combination. I think they got a shot. So when you look at the two companies that we had on today, one is a software telecommunications company, which is up and growing, Cleartronic, CLRI, and the other one is totally hemp crazy. And Jerry, I know Jerry Grisafi for a long time, and he puts himself into whatever he's doing. He's been in marketing all his life. There's no rookie. Tom Schumann, besides being a great quarterback in the collegiate level and winning the MVP with Penn State in the Orange Bowl, he attacked the beverage industry when he got out of college and he ended his pro career. He went right into the beverage industry, and he's been there for over 35 years with Dr. Pepper and everywhere else. He's done a great job That's why I'm totally confident. We're going to come back right after this. We'll wrap things up. I'm the Mixter here on your Money's Worth on 1470 South Florida. Come right back at you. Don't go away.
I wanted to be in the military since I was a kid.
I served in the United States Air Force.
I served a total of 16 years.
I was deployed 13 times.
On my second deployment, 4 bombs hit my vehicle.
And at 19 years old, that's the first time I ever saw somebody die.
Coming back, I was raging.
I started having pretty horrible nightmares.
I would wake up in the middle of the night, sweats.
I started drinking a lot.
I felt worthless.
I guess I never recognized it in myself.
Eventually, one day I just walked into the VA hospital and said I'd like to see somebody.
Don't suffer alone. You gotta find that link with somebody that'll make you let it go.
It all starts with going to the VA. There's a whole community of veterans that just want to help you out.
It's for the guys who couldn't come back, so you owe it to them to live well, because they're not here with their families.
Visit maketheconnection.net.
What do you want to be when you're older?
Hold on, this is like a deep question.
When I'm older, I want to be a singer. That's my goal.
I'm not sure I want to invent the supercomputer, but I definitely want to build the supercomputer.
I want to be an inspiration.
An organizer of like do-gooders.
I want to be a veterinarian. I want to help out animals and work with them.
I want to be a media mogul. Just rule the world.
When I'm older, I want to be anything but the one that doesn't fit in, the one that people don't love.
Everyone deserves a dream.
Everyone.
But some of us are depressed,
Anxious,
Scared.
Angry.
alone.
don't feel like ourselves.
We can't even focus on the present, much less the future.
If that's you, say something.
It's okay to talk. It's okay to share. It's okay to get help or help someone.
Talk to someone. It helps. And people will listen. Add your voice at okaytotalk.org. okaytotalk.org.
Brought to you by the National Association of Broadcasters.
$12:54 here on a Freaky Friday in South Florida. A lot going on this weekend. I'm going to be bouncing around town somewhere. I know that. Some of my friends are out in Vegas having a good time. The rest of them hanging out at Hot Legs. It's probably sucking down a martini or a vodka right now. I mean, you can't beat it. So things are happening around town, and I'm going to be out there. Maybe I'll go dancing around the Blue Moon for a while. We'll see what happens there. All right, but anyway, we're going to have a good time on a Freaky Friday here in South Florida. This is the Mixter. I'll be back hopefully within the next week. But until then, we'll catch up with you later on. I hope you all have a good time. We'll see you out there then. I want to thank Larry Reed from Cleartronic for coming on. Jerry Grisafi from Totally Hemp Crazy out west, along with Tom Schumann, former Penn State Nittany Lion, quarterback of the MVP of the game against Nebraska in '74. I still remember that game. Terrific. Freddie Santori doing a great job on the cameras. The rest of you is out there. This is the Mixter saying have a great Friday. Be safe. And I'll catch you rolling around town somewhere. Until next time, take it easy.
The opinions expressed on the preceding sponsored program were strictly those of its hosts, guests, and callers, and not necessarily those of this station, its staff, management, or sponsors.
What if you got rewarded for every good decision? What if your heart had a special way of letting you know it appreciates your healthy choices?
Oh, I've got to get my family to eat more vegetables.
Amazing!
And instead of cooking with butter tonight, I think I'll saute our veggies with heart-healthy oil.
You're a genius! So really, would your food choices pay off in heart health? Did you know that when you replace bad fats with healthier fats,